Thanksgiving Day, the annual national holiday in the United States celebrating the harvest and other blessings of the past year, is modeled after a 1621 harvest feast shared by the English colonists of Plymouth and the Wampanoag people. This was a rather disorderly affair, but it sealed a treaty between the two groups that lasted until King Philip's War in 1675. The New England colonists were accustomed to regularly celebrating Thanksgivings, days of prayer, thanking God for their blessings. Yet, after 1798, the new U.S. Congress left official Thanksgiving declarations to the states. Thanksgiving Day did not become an official holiday until Northerners dominated the federal government, and on October 3rd, 1863, during the Civil War, President Lincoln proclaimed a national day of Thanksgiving to be celebrated on Thursday, November 26th. The holiday was annually proclaimed by every president thereafter, and the date chosen, with few exceptions, was the last Thursday in November. Finally, in 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued a proclamation designating the fourth Thursday in November as Thanksgiving Day. Happy Thanksgiving, Ty.
Your favorite holiday.
My favorite holiday. Yeah, we finally made it.
Finally.
Yeah. Finally made
The rest
it.
of the year doesn't matter. We're just
No,
we're
it's all
just
about Thanksgiving
we just
Day.
then are waiting for next year's Thanksgiving.
That's right. And, we talked of a couple of months ago, I guess it was now, a societal trend that's heading us into the wrong direction. That's restaurants asking for tips when they don't do a damn thing. And we talked about.
And I noticed it, and it bothered me before you brought that up.
Yeah.
It's gotten even worse since you brought it up.
Now you notice it everywhere.
And I blatantly, I will say sometimes, the tip here, I'll call it out. So how do I get past this page?
How do I get past? That's good.
Yeah.
See, I'm kinder than that. I just say no tip.
Subtly say no.
I just say no tip. And sometimes I feel bad. That's the thing. They've sucked you in to feeling bad.
Yes. I still do. But because of our conversation, I'm like, no. I called an order in. I'm paying you for that.
Right.
And then even some that there's service fees on top of it. And then they still ask for a tip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's me hot.
So we could continue down. But that's a societal trend that we don't like. Another trend that I don't like, where we're headed, is this Christmas celebration starting November 1st.
Oh, I thought you were going to say this Christmas celebration.
Yeah.
This trend
Christmas.
that people are celebrating the birth of Christ.
Christmas thing. Well, that's not what they're celebrating. Let's be clear about that.
Wasn't he born in the summer?
Yes. Yeah. Well, you go to Hobby Lobby, you got all these stores. Decorations are starting November 1st.
Yeah.
My household.
Oh, bro.
My wife, the biggest Christmas fiend ever.
If you went into Home Depot in September, they had Christmas decorations up. If you went into Costco or you went into Hobby Lobby, it was way before November 1st. It's ridiculous. It was September.
Commercials on TV are starting, have been going. Christmas movies. Yeah. Now look, I am a Scrooge.
Yeah.
I am the Grinch. Christmas is cool, but it's not that cool. So it's not that I don't like Christmas. It's just getting sooner and sooner every single year that we start this celebration. And to me, it is a total bitch slap in the face to Thanksgiving, and I don't appreciate it.
Imagine if someone. Let's make it a relevant holiday, because I was using Halloween, but it's Halloween's totally a secular holiday date, whatever you want to call it. But imagine if someone started decorating for Halloween in end of August.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people that do it, but it's not a cultural norm.
No,
where we start.
I don't think that people start decorating for Halloween. In August.
Some freaks probably do, but your point well taken.
Yeah,
your point well taken.
It does linger, and I'm with you on this, because this is one of the biggest things. My wife would decorate in July.
Yeah, mine too. My wife would be the weird one that would just leave it up all year if I let her.
Yeah, well, it's one
not from a laziness, but just more of a.
Yeah, I agree. Mine would too. But for me, what it does is it kills the luster of it
Yeah.
Before you even get to December.
Before you even get there. You're tired of Christmas.
Or not even that you're tired of it, that you're just like numb to it, right? It's just like.
It's not special.
It's okay, this is just how my house looks. Because think about it, like when you start decorating in November, and then when you take it down in January, you know, whether it's New Year's Day, whether it's, some people let it linger, but how odd does your house look?
Yeah.
Because it's been up for so long that you're so used to it. You're like, wait a minute, something's wrong with the house. You're like, no, that's how I live 10 months of the year. And so that's, to me, I'm like, okay, it's up too long. When I take it down, like, I don't recognize my house.
I think that's a great point that you said, because we do that with everything.
Yeah.
We do that with money. We do that with power. We do that with drugs and alcohol. We do that with sex. We take it way too far.
Yeah.
We take a good thing that's awesome and positive, and we just abuse it until it doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, and then we move on.
And that's what we've done with Christmas.
Yeah.
You start November 1st. By the time you get to the 25th of December, you're 2 months into this celebration. So to me, it's if Halloween's your thing, it's not really my thing, but if that's your thing, celebrate in October.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, give Thanksgiving all of November. And then the day after, that's how it used to be.
Black Friday.
Right? Black Friday, the day after, that's when you pull out all the decorations and the lights and you can have the entire month of December.
If you want to be aggressive and you have Thanksgiving dinner at like 2 or 3 o'clock, you do the early deal. Hey, look, if you're so courageous to climb up in the attic after a heavy meal like that, after Thanksgiving dinner, and that's your thing, that's your thing. I'm with you.
I'll even give you till through the New Year's if you want to leave your stuff up.
Yeah.
But quit disrespecting Thanksgiving. That's the point of today's episode.
We've been having this conversation for years. Like, quit disrespecting Thanksgiving.
I'm tired of it.
Oh, man.
You know, I think we started this podcast as, you know, a lot of different things, and it's been a lot of different. But I think it's one of the things we wanted to do was conversations to help improve society. And this conversation today is going to improve society.
This one
because
today,
I've got 7 reasons or 7 ways that gratitude or Thanksgiving can affect your brain.
I like it.
So the more we disrespect and just disregard and just overlook, and we're really like, I'm saying this tongue in cheek, but seriously, we are not doing ourselves a favor here.
Yeah.
Of honoring a day where where it's meant to be truly thankful.
Yeah.
For what you have. Now, hopefully you do this more than just one day a year.
That's right.
And again, I'm going to go through the 7 reasons why you should do this daily. But to me, it's because it just becomes so irrelevant in a lot of people's minds. You got Christmas, 2 months, 3 months,
It's like a
whatever.
Christmas quarter now is what it is.
It really is.
It literally is all of Q4 is Christmas.
Yeah.
And look, do I think it's the most important holiday when you get to the roots of what it is to celebrate? For me. For me and my family, yes.
The way you celebrate it is the right way to do it. You're not thinking about Santa Claus and like you're celebrating it for what it was intended for.
Right. I mean, this and Easter, right, are the two holidays that represent the most to my family and I. And it's funny, yeah. So, but do I think that we need to take an entire quarter and decorate for it? Nah, I don't. Do we need to celebrate it all year long? Yes, we do. But like,
tell me how those Christmas lights on November 1st help you celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, and this is another discussion. We'll get this on our Christmas episode, but you can't even say Merry Christmas anymore. That's offensive, right?
Yeah,
because there's so many other holidays. Happy holidays.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, that's for another day. So 7 ways gratitude, and I interchange gratitude and thankfulness, same thing, affects the brain. Number 1, this one might seem obvious, but gratitude releases toxic emotions. A study conducted on individuals seeking mental health guidance revealed that participants of the group who wrote letters of gratitude besides their regular counseling sessions felt better and recovered sooner. The other group in the study that were asked to journal their negative experiences instead of writing gratitude letters reported feelings of anxiety and depression. Again, sounds obvious, but what you focus on is what you eventually...
That becomes your world.
Exactly.
When you're focused on the negative, then this world is terrible. Like living in the negative and even sometimes, and we talk about it a lot, there's a line between striving to improve, striving to get better, having this internal, like as a football player for me, I was never good enough. Like I never settled. What is dangerous about that is when you're focused on the negative aspects. When I watched film, all I looked for, I'd fast forward the good plays, and I'd only watch the plays where I messed up, where I needed a correction. And there was a point in my game, and really it was most of my career until my last season, is I had this negative outlook towards football. Like I suck. Because all I watched and all I focused on was the bad plays. And I'm not saying this necessarily directly relates, but what it does is when I shifted my focus my last season, 2015, look, we were having the worst season as a team of any team that I was a part of. Mm-hmm. And we were like 4-12. Everything was going terrible. But man, I celebrated the good plays. I literally took this like grateful approach to it. Like I still get to play. 31 years old. Mm-hmm. I turned 32 in the season. Like I still get to play this game, and I still get, my kids both get to be here and see it. My 2 at the time, my wife, like all of these things. And it was a completely different mindset, and it was a completely different season for me emotionally and mentally going through that season. It was the best season, and I played the best.
How much pressure did that relieve?
Oh my gosh. And a lot of it had to do with my faith, right? A lot of it had to do with like, hey, like if I'm playing in a way that like God looks down and he's like, well done, then I don't have to impress my coaches. I don't have to impress my teammates. I don't have to impress the front office. I don't have to impress the fans. I don't even have to impress me, because if I impress him, right, then everything underneath it. But again, it was a level of gratitude that I applied to that season, and then things became positive because that's what I was focused on. Mm-hmm. And that's where that gratefulness comes in. Like if you are writing letters of gratefulness and you are focused on the things and taking note of all of the things that you're grateful for, then you can live in a positive world. Mm-hmm. This world around us can be positive, and it can bring joy, and it can bring productivity and love and all these great things. But if you just focus on the negative and like what you don't have, this world really is a rough place. Like that's the anxiety and depression. And that is a culture where we've shifted. That pendulum has swung over to that negativity. And as a result, we're more depressed, we're more medicated, we're more anxious, we're more alone than ever before. So it's a simple thing. And writing letters of gratitude, you can also just do, if we just took a 10-minute exercise every day, 10 minutes out of our day, and wrote down all of the good things, all of the things that we are grateful for versus all of the bad things, I can guarantee you, if you are not just trying to load up your negative list, I guarantee you your grateful list will be much longer than your negative list.
And it's by no means and you're not saying this, I'm just reiterating, it's by no means a bury your head in sand mentality.
No.
This is just simply focusing your attention on everything that you have as opposed to everything you don't have.
Yes.
And I'm with you. If I was ruler of the world, I did it just this morning, in fact, and it really does make a difference. Just write down 2 things every morning. 2 things. That's it. Just write down 2 things that you're grateful for. And what it does is it resets your mind. And again, doesn't mean you don't strive to be better, like you said. Doesn't mean you're not pushing. It just means you're grateful. You're taking a moment to be grateful for the things that you do have. And again, to your point, I bet you that season, I mean, how foolish did you feel playing that season compared to previous
seasons before? I was feeling sorry for myself, and and then like when you get to that point, you're like, you feel sorry for yourself because you get to play in the NFL, and you get to be compensated in this way to play a game. You get to wear gym shorts to work. Yeah, you have 3 months off in the middle of the year or after the season, and then you got another month in the summer. Not a bad deal.
Yeah. And that's another thing, these gratitude. It removes you. It's like Jocko talks about, and a ton of the psychologists we've had on the podcast talk about, just getting yourself a 30,000-foot view.
Yep.
Because, yes, to an outsider who sees an NFL player making more money than most people ever make in their life to play a game, it's like, how in the world could you not be grateful? But when you're in it, doesn't matter what your role is. When you're in it, that's all that matters. And you're comparing yourself to other people in there.
Well, that comparison, right, is if you really said and took a objective view at your house, at the cars you drive, the things you have, and you just took a step back and you're like, oh, dang, I'm pretty lucky to have this house. Like I'm really lucky to have the roof over my head, the clothes in my closet, the food in the refrigerator, a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Water. Like I'm really grateful for this. Your comparisonitis of all of these people that like, oh man, they have such a nice house. I want a nicer house. Or I want this. I want that. Like think about that will dissipate. That like envy of everyone else's things that is nicer than yours. When you really take a step back and you're like, dang.
Yeah.
And that's that perspective we talk about, like going somewhere else and getting that perspective from people that have much less.
Well, and that's the great thing, no matter where you are, because as a 23-year-old, just recently graduated college, moving furniture for a living, wife's going to school, living in a literal closet, almost literal closet. Like even there, I had so much to be thankful for.
Yes.
In the moment, it was hard to remember that.
Yeah.
But again, comparative, and not that you want to compare and contrast, but it doesn't matter your situation.
Yeah.
There are things, even if it's just your health.
Yeah.
Even if that's literally it.
Well, and that's it, right? Is take it down to the simplest form. Take it down, because what's funny is those times, and I remember those times, like when Tiff and I were broke.
Yeah.
And like I'm borrowing money from her. We're not even married. Like bad times, right? And I remember like, this is awful. This is so terrible. Like I want to be there. Well, guess what? Like I'm here, and there's times I want to go back to that.
Yeah.
The simplicity of it.
I've thought about that before, because you strive to get to the one day. One day I'll do this. You strive, and then when you're there, you look back, it's like, what about those problems I thought were problems?
Yeah. I couldn't go. Like, what I don't miss is going to the gas station and like wondering if my card is going to work or not. Like, I don't miss that.
Yeah.
But like just the simplicity of it. And guess what? Like we had a blast. Like some of the funnest times is back in those times when I had nothing, when I thought I had nothing. I had so much back then. I don't know. But to your point and to your example is like writing those down, whether it's a letter or a list, man, there's something powerful in that. Just to put it on paper, to physically acknowledge, man, and put yourself in that grateful mentality.
Yeah,
so powerful.
Don't just stop at just thinking of it. Think about things.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
But yeah, writing it down takes it to the next level.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'll work it in on every single one of these points, I'm sure.
Number 2, gratitude reduces pain. Bet you didn't know that. Counting blessings versus burdens, a study conducted on evaluating the effect of gratitude on physical well-being indicated that 16% of the patients who kept a gratitude journal reported reduced pain symptoms and were more willing to work out and cooperate with the treatment procedure. A deeper dig into the cause unleashed that by regulating the level of dopamine, gratitude fills us with more vitality, thereby reducing subjective feelings of pain. Gratitude literally reduces physical discomfort.
So there's a book called Healing Back Pain. Have you ever heard of this book?
Who wrote it?
It was John Sarno.
I think you might have told me about it.
John E. Sarno. Okay, so a buddy of mine played at University of Miami, Ohio. He was there like right after Roethlisberger.
The real University of Miami.
The real you.
The real you.
But it's crazy. Is this book is not about core exercise. It's not about surgery. It's not about corrective stretching. It's a mentality. It literally coaches you through like how to think about your back pain. And so my buddy went from literally not being able to run because his back was so bad, and it would be like, 2 weeks where he was like laid up, and then he would get up and he would like work into getting in to like do rehab, and then he hurt it again. So literally like his career is done. He reads this book, and within 4 months he's out running. And the next season was like an impact player on special teams in college.
Wow.
So going from having not ever thinking I'm not even gonna be able to run ever again. And it was a mental thing. It was all mental. So again, the power that your mentality has over your physicality and pain, dude, it's crazy. Yeah. When you just like wallow in like self-pity and all that, like it sticks around. And I don't have the science behind it. You're about to tell us about the science, but it's wild how much control your mind has over physical pain.
Yeah, and there is physical pain is real, but to your point,
you can't outthink a shattered femur bone.
What's your line? I just want it more than the pain.
Want it more than the crushed femur bone.
But there is a book. It's not about back pain, but it's about moving better. It's called A Guide to Better Movement. Same premise. Yeah. Yes, it has physical exercises you can do, but the chunk of the book, especially at the beginning, is talking about your mentality, retraining those neural pathways. Yeah. So that's interesting. I mean, it literally can reduce pain. Number 3, gratitude improves sleep quality. So sleep number improves sleep quality. So does gratitude. So combine the two.
Bro, you become a superhero.
Get your sleep number 360 smart bed.
Just saying.
Do a gratitude journal. You're going to sleep like a freaking king.
I mean, hundreds every night. I mean, recovery score over 90.
To the moon.
Guaranteed on your Whoop.
But
your
seriously.
Sleep score is going to be, 100.
100.
100.
Have you ever gotten 100?
No.
Have you ever gotten a 99?
Yes.
I have a hard time.
No, I'm sorry. I got a 98. The closest I got was a 98.
I have a hard time getting in the 90s.
Yeah,
usually I'm 70s and 80s, but
no, I'm like 60s and 50s.
Yeah, you need some more gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got the bed. Now you just need some gratitude.
Yeah.
Studies have shown that receiving and displaying simple acts of kindness activates the hypothalamus and thereby regulates all bodily mechanisms controlled by the hypothalamus, out of which sleep is a vital one. Hypothalamic regulation triggered by gratitude helps us get deeper and healthier sleep naturally every day. A brain filled with gratitude and kindness is more likely to sleep better and wake up feeling refreshed and energetic each morning. And your sleep number 360.
And your sleep number 360 bed. So we do, and this is a Christmas reference, and we started this, but I would say probably the best month with our kids out of the year is always consistently December. And I didn't really think about it until you just read that. But the gratitude and performing services for others. So one thing that Tiffany started, and I thought this was amazing, it's probably her only good idea that she's had since we've been married, is we have a tree for our kids, and she's very particular about her Christmas tree.
Oh, she's got her own.
Oh, the family Christmas tree, nobody touches. Like nobody. My mom comes in and helps.
So how many trees do y'all have?
Bro, this year I don't want to answer
that. 3?
It's more than 1. Less than 10.
Your family is who I was talking about to be this episode.
100%. So anyway,
having said that, we've got 3 in our house.
So we have, we've got 4 kids, and so each kid has one in their room, and then we have one in the game room, and then one in the family room.
Yeah, we got a decorative tree, which who the hell knew that was 3 years ago?
No.
A fancy tree. We've got the one with our ornaments, the stupid kids who made those ornaments. We got the ugly tree. And then we got one for the playroom.
Which one do you put the presents under? Decorative?
That's a great question. I guess the decorative one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same. So that's in our family room. That's what everybody looks at, and everybody, yeah. But the ugly ornaments, just like your crap that you made me at school.
$6,000 tree.
Your crap that you made me at school, the heart and soul and sweat that you put into that, not on mine.
You're lucky don't throw that in the
back of the house. But we have this tree, and so it's called the giving tree. And so what it is we've got the box of these ornaments that we've collected over the years that they make at school or gifts or whatever that don't make the cut for Tiffany's tree. And don't
make the cut.
and so if the kids do an act of giving that day, so like take somebody's trash cans up to the road, or they hold the door open for someone, or they do something kind to help somebody, right? Is then we all talk about it every night at dinner, and if it's not just like Rocco saying that he said something nice to somebody, right? If it's a legitimate act of kindness or giving, they get to then go take an ornament and they get to hang it on the tree. Nice. And so it like kind of motivates them to do it. And literally that's our best month with our kids. Like originally I thought, oh, it's because they just want presents and they keep asking. So they're like trying to be well behaved to get on the nice list. But I do really think that there's something about their constant focus, and they're like jacked up about doing something nice. Like when they come home from school, first thing they want to do is tell us like what they did for the giving tree. And so that mentality, and again, this is just a observation on my part. I don't know if there's science behind it, but it does also align with the best month in our kids when they're really focused on that and less on themselves and more other people.
I don't think it's a coincidence at all. Like you said, it's that mentality that they're leading each day with.
Yeah.
It's bleeding over into, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Number 4, gratitude aids in stress regulation. So McCready, who's a social psychologist, and colleagues, in one of their studies on gratitude and appreciation, found that participants who felt gratitude showed a marked reduction in the level of the stress hormone cortisol. They had better cardiac functioning and were more resilient to emotional setbacks and negative experiences. I love that last line. More resilience to emotional setbacks and negative consequences. We all know that guy or girl who's doom and gloom. Everything's just horrible. They see the pessimists by nature. And gratitude, thankfulness, even to the hardest of hearts, can kind of change that stress reaction to and make you more resilient.
Think about anybody that's like in an office environment, warehouse environment, like that works around other people and there's some team element to it. Think about that negative Nancy and how many good ideas they come up with for solving a problem versus that over the top, joyful, that person that really is an optimist and really thinks that way. Think about the ideas. Like really think about those people. Like who typically is coming up with like good solutions to solving problems. Like it just frees up space for creativity and critical thinking when you're not thinking about all the bad things that can happen.
Right. That's an excellent point.
I mean, think about our team. I mean, in our day job. I mean, maybe
you should call people out by name here.
Oh, I'm going to, yeah. But I mean, they may not always be great ideas, but at least they're coming up with ideas.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
like you said, it allows you a foundation of creativity.
That's right.
Deep thought, positivity.
There's just space for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Number 5, gratitude reduces anxiety and depression. By reducing the stress hormones and managing the autonomic nervous system functions, gratitude significantly reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety. At the neurochemical level, feelings of gratitude are associated with an increase in the neuromodulation of the prefrontal cortex, the brain site responsible for managing negative emotions like guilt, shame, and violence. As a result, people who keep a gratitude journal or use verbal expressions for the same are more empathetic and positive-minded by nature.
Here's one thing, though, too, that I'd like to announce my gratefulness of is how much better of a reader you are now than you were a year ago.
Yeah, well...
That wasn't an easy read that you just did right there.
You got to practice a lot.
You just ran through that.
What do you mean reading? This is all coming off the top of my head.
I mean,
this is all
memorized.
This is all entered knowledge in my brain.
Oh,
no, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
thank you for expressing that.
Yeah. No,
I'm in better mood.
Yeah, less depressed
and less depressed.
Yeah,
no anxiety in this moment.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna be able to.
Is that dopamine, serotonin that's released?
All the good stuff.
Yeah, the good chems.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I got it.
Number 6.
That was a moment we had, by the way.
Number 6, gratitude keeps us in the moment. I love this one. When we give and receive thank you notes, our brain is automatically redirected to pay attention to what we have, producing intrinsic motivation and a strong awareness of the present. This one might be my favorite one because I have a tendency to be looking ahead constantly. And so what my gratitude journal does in the morning when I write down 2 things that I'm grateful for, it keeps me, like, I literally can't think of anything else when I'm trying to sit there and think, what am I grateful for?
Yeah.
I can't think about future anxiety. I can't think about what I don't have. I'm literally trying to think about things that I have. Mm-hmm. And by nature, that brings me into the present moment. That allows me in the here and now, which we talked about in that dopamine book. Do you always want to be in the here and now? No, you don't want 100% of anything. Do you always want to be in the future state? No. You want a good mixture of the two. Yeah. And gratitude, expressing gratitude, receiving gratitude, allows you to stay in that present moment.
Yeah. Man, that's good. I don't know. You just got it. That's a first.
Drop the mic. And then lastly, number 7, gratitude improves resiliency. We touched on this a second ago. A cross-sectional study published in the International Journal of Social Psychiatry that participants who felt more grateful and practiced gratitude journaling were found happier and emotionally stronger than others. An extension of the study on depressive patients showed that those who practiced gratitude exercises recovered soon and felt more motivated to bounce back from their distress.
I think it's not just emotional resilience. I think it's overall resilience. I think there's physical resilience that are associated with it. Think about, we're doing these Saturday sufferings, and think about it, your willingness to finish some of the things that we've done. If like you just like didn't want to be there and you're like, no, like it sucks. My life is terrible. Like we wouldn't finish a lot of the things that we've done. Mm-hmm. Just like and I think Comfort Crisis and Michael Easter, Donnie Vincent, they go on this caribou hunt and they're up in the Arctic. And they literally, whatever they can pack in originally is the only guaranteed food they have, which is like bars. Mm-hmm. And the ability to handle that adversity of weather and exhaustion and all those things, if they didn't have that sense of, man, I'm like super grateful for my life at home, I'm super grateful for these things, like it would be really hard to push through those things. If you're in like total survival, like think of what's that movie with Liam Neeson? Wolf? Is it Wolf? What's that?
Taken?
No, this is the only one you know. The one where they crash and there's a bunch of like wolves that are like a plane crash and there's a bunch of wolves that are like chasing them down or whatever. But the people that are gonna die off first, it sounds really bad, are the ones that are just not grateful for what they've got in the moment. Mm-hmm. Like they're just like, whatever, and just give up. So I just think of how that translates. And for me, going through my fitness journey, and when I was like depressed and like when I'd work out, I'd be like, ugh, nah. But then like I get excited. I'm grateful for the fact that like I've got a community, I've got a gym that I like, I got programming that I like, my nutrition. I'm grateful for that. Like all of these things, man, the next level that it allows me to go to is just different. It's a mentality. Mm-hmm. But to your point, I do think just mental resilience is like, if you have the mindset of, okay, like I've still got a home, I've still got a family, or I've still got something, I've still got all these things that others don't have, dude, I'm super lucky. Yeah. Like you're able to not let that completely force you into a tailspin. You're able to say, okay, now let me just think collectively. If it doesn't work out, or if I don't get this job, or I don't end up marrying this person, or I don't get what I want, okay, I still have a ton of stuff, and I don't need that. It's a bonus. That allows you to be able to go through and manage that situation a whole lot more effective and a whole lot more creatively.
Yeah, and another benefit that wasn't on that list. Think about your life socially. Think about people that practice gratitude, just how attractive they are as people.
Yeah. Yep.
And as opposed to the shitty people who are just always down in the dumps, they're always thinking about things that they don't have. I mean, gracious or people that practice gratitude are just more attractive people. So that's another that we didn't even, that's a bonus benefit.
Well, 100%.
Your social life improves.
And and I know I've already talked about Tiff a bunch, but Tiff has like this gift of like entering into a person's place of pain with them, feeling that with them, and then like encouraging and like helping them through it. She has this like it's 100% like her strongest gift, besides being smoking hot. But there's a point though that she'll get to if it's the same person over and over and over and over and over. Like, I just can't have this relationship anymore because like I'll enter in with somebody on a really hard time, but if your life is in that hard time and you choose to stay there, there's nothing that I can do to pull you out of it. I can't be around you because now it's unhealthy. And there's those people, and I tend to be this way. I feel like I dance like this eternal optimist, and then like I just want to talk about all the stuff that's bad. And I notice when I'm in that phase where I'm talking about things that are bad or how hard it is or what I'm going through, and I just talk about that because I want people to feel sorry for me, like I feel like the circles around me get a whole lot smaller. And it's not a good place. So everybody knows that person. It's always got something negative to say, is always wants that, or, oh, it must be nice, or whatever it is. Like, nobody wants to be around that.
Agreed. So I don't think there was anything on that list that was earth-shattering or we didn't maybe intuitively know or have learned over the course of time. Why is it then so hard to not practice gratitude? What do you think keeps, not everybody, but for you personally, what do you think keeps you from it?
I think one is we're hyper aware of what we don't have because we see what others do have.
Yeah.
And we see the best of what others do have. Like if you were to record the highlights of Ben Gibbs' life, bro, you would be the envy of the internet. Yeah. If you just recorded that. Right. As boring as you kind of think, and I'm just saying this generically, as you think your life may be, if you just highlighted the best things that you have, people are like, dude, that dude's got it so good. Yeah. He's got an awesome wife. He's got 2 healthy boys. He's got a home gym. He's got a great job. He works at the Star. He watches the Cowboys practice every single Wednesday and Thursday during the football season. Like, dude. That dude, and you have way more awesome things, but they would look at you and be like, dude, that's freaking awesome. I wish my life was that good. Yeah. But we all think about like what we don't have. Like we're just hyper aware of
I could find 3 people in our office that I would point to and say, well, they have this and they have, so you're exactly right.
You know, but then again, here's what we don't see is we don't see those influencer or those role models or whatever, is we don't see the everyday life. We don't see what it's like when they go home from that, awesome job or that awesome opportunity or that vacation or whatever it is, right? We don't see what is going on. And then we're shocked when Tom Brady and Giselle get a divorce. Like, oh my gosh, they have the best life ever. This is so great. I wish I had all that. And it's like, now they're going through like a gut-wrenching, very just hard time relationally. Like everybody has those things, but nobody highlights those things. Right. Nobody talks about those things. And so I just think part of culturally where we're at is we just want the good things. We don't want any of the bad. But if you have this level of gratitude where you can say, you know what? Even those hard things, and we've talked about it quite a bit, even those hard things, like the challenges with a relationship or losing a loved one or job loss or whatever it may be, those, if you can really just sprinkle in gratitude even on those and recognize, dang, I'm going to learn from this. On the other side of this, I'm going to be so much stronger. I'm going to be wiser. I'm going to be more resilient. I'm going to be able to teach somebody else because I'm going through this. Like, that is when you can really, really start to grow and start to see really, really positive impact in your sphere of people.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of attributes that you can live your life with, or foundational core principles that I would put up on the Mount Rushmore. Mm-hmm. And I think gratitude, the ability to practice gratitude, the ability to truly be thankful for your situation, is definitely on that Mount Rushmore. If you can master that, because again, the great thing about gratitude is it can go through any situation you find yourself in. Yeah. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. You have something that you can be grateful for. Yeah. And that's the great thing about it. It's not dependent on, am I making $1 million a year? Or do I have the biggest house in the block? Or do I have 3, cars in my garage? It's not dependent on those things. Gratitude is dependent on you being grateful, and no matter the circumstances. Yep. And so to me, if you want to live a good life, part of that is practicing gratitude. And if somehow you can find a way to master this skill, to me, all those 7 reasons and beyond, more than what we're listing, life is going to look pretty good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, what gratitude, when I practice it, and I'm not by any means an expert at it, and I struggle with it, and so I needed this, so thank you, is gratitude to me leads to freedom.
Yes. 100% agree.
You're not a slave to consumerism. You're not a slave to accentuating circumstances that are out of your control. You're not a slave to relationships. You're not a slave to all these things that we idolize as a culture that really have just like trapped us in this like spin cycle of depression and negativity and conflict and disagreement. It frees you of that. Like imagine if our country during COVID, imagine if we're going through the pandemic and we as a country said, frick, guys, like we're really grateful, one, that we have homes that we can lock down in. 2, really grateful that there are scientists out there trying to figure out the solution. Okay, whether they're right or wrong, we're grateful that we even have the ability to navigate this. We're grateful for our neighbors next door, and in so, we're going to help them out. I mean, I think if we'd approach that with a level of gratitude as opposed to like, they're screwing us or, everybody's going to die. I mean, I just feel like how much smoother that process could have gone. And to me, that gratitude equals freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if we practice gratitude more as a society, I don't see a downside in that at all. And so I take that back to how we started a little bit, getting lost in the whole Christmas thing. And again, I know it's tongue-in-cheek, we were joking around, but seriously, on this Thanksgiving Day, when you're probably listening to this or around Thanksgiving Day, don't take that, because I know about our family, we go around the circle, mention a couple things. Don't take that moment for granted. Truly think about the things that you're grateful for. Appreciate the day, because that's what it was designed for. It was designed to reflect on the past year, things that we can be grateful for. Again, no matter your circumstance, there are things to be grateful for. And so that's my encouragement as you're listening to this today on Thanksgiving Day.
It's good.
Is to truly be thankful. Don't disrespect the true meaning of the day.
That's right.
Use it for what it was intended for.
And I think use it as a diving board for how to live this way consistently going forward. Not every day are you going to be perfect at it. Not every day is it going to be, daisies and sunshine.
Yeah.
But how can you, whatever you recognize that you're grateful for on Thanksgiving, how can you recall on that, circle back through that feeling as consistently as possible, and really just change your whole perspective on how you look at your life, your circumstances, and how you maybe can spread that to somebody else by the way that you live. Be contagious with it.
Yeah. And you will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to have an old coach that said, enthusiasm is contagious. Gratitude's contagious.
I would argue this on the football field. Enthusiasm can sometimes be corny. It's not always contagious. There's times that I'm like, I'm not grateful, and I'm negative, but I get what you're saying. It's a good.
Speaking of gratitude, we had an awesome time. What was this, 2 weeks ago at Choctaw?
Yeah.
There is literally no better place. No. I'm telling you, there is no better. If you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan, there is no better place than Choctaw Casino, the league at Choctaw Casino Resort, to go watch a game. And you've got somebody working on your house right now who's very grateful. Tell us that story real quick.
Yeah, so it's awesome, man. And we've got like a really, really just a great guy, a really talented like cabinet maker. And he was up there last week and won $100,000. Like,
that is awesome.
You know, I always think, like, I always thought the lottery, I was like, do people actually really, truly win? Yeah. Like, or like casinos, like these giveaways, do people actually truly win, or is it just a marketing thing? Like, truly somebody I know that I'm interacting with on a daily basis right now.
I'm surprised you didn't quit your
your
job.
I know. I was like, yo.
I'm sure you'll be a professional gambler.
I was like, yo, when do you have time to go to the casino? Why aren't you making my stuff?
My cabinet's been sitting here for 2 weeks, bro. No, but that's awesome.
No, man, it was so cool, dude. It was, and I was so happy. And, you know, November, they're giving away over $1 million.
Yeah, 1.6.
$1.6 million.
Now 1.5.
There we go. 1.5 left. But it's cool just to hear that, like, look, this is legit. And Choctaw and just Choctaw Nation is really trying to just make people's lives better. Yeah. Like 100% Choctaw Nation, right? They're trying to like support their people, create jobs, do a lot of really cool things. But the people that come and fund it through the casino, they're great. They are grateful for you, and they want to reward you for that.
Yeah.
So, and then again, we went up to the league. I got to say that was such a fun watch party. I will say though, we got to be very selective on what games we agree to because we're over.
We're over. We're over.
We're over.
But every time we've been up there, the Cowboys have lost.
Yeah. So, but right before that, and I don't even know if we've talked about it on the show yet, it was my birthday, and Tiffany and I went up there for a little getaway. And I'm telling you, it was one of the best, like, 24-hour periods that she and I have had. Went up, we played a little bit of blackjack, and I taught Tiffany, and it was really cool, interactive, found a fun table. Went to 1838, the steakhouse. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I love Nick and Sam's, my favorite restaurants. But I'm like, dude, this is...
Well, it's the same guy, right?
Yeah.
Or used to work at Nick and Sam's, right? Something like that?
Yeah, he used to be one of the managers at Nick and Sam's. Phenomenal steakhouse. And then we went and did a bunch of stuff. That movie theater, it was unbelievable. So if you're just looking for like, hey, we need to get away, we got, grandparents watching the kids, one night is all it took because it's that close. Yeah. We literally got up there at like 3 o'clock and we left the next morning at like 11. It was awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
So Choctaw, thank you.
This Thanksgiving, take your family up to Choctaw.
Plenty of food options.
Well, we appreciate it, guys. We've got an awesome episode coming up this Monday. We are speaking with a Welsh actor, model, adventurer.
It is a great episode.
Amazing episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of gratitude, I am grateful for that dude and that discussion we had because his life, amazing story, amazing transformation, amazing things he's doing now. So be on the lookout for that this coming Monday. Hopefully you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving break.
Yes.
Take time, be grateful for it. Take a few days off. I know we're always connected and we're always working. Try to take a few days with whoever you're spending your time with, and be grateful. It will literally, as we talked about today, change your brain.
That's right.
So appreciate you guys. We are grateful for you for listening. We'll see you on Monday. We'll see you next week. Have a great Thanksgiving.